What makes some relationships deeply fulfilling while others feel shallow and disconnected? The answer lies in understanding the complex psychology behind human attraction, emotional bonding, and intimate connection. Today we're diving into the fascinating science of relationships, exploring what happens in our brains and bodies when we form deep connections with others. These aren't just romantic theories, they're backed by decades of psychological research and neuroscience. By the end of this exploration, you'll understand the hidden forces that drive attraction, the psychology behind lasting bonds, and practical insights you can apply to strengthen your own relationships. Let's uncover the secrets of human connection. Chapter 1. The Science of First Attraction. Attraction isn't random. It follows predictable psychological patterns. Within the first few seconds of meeting someone, your brain is already making complex calculations about compatibility, safety, and potential connection. The 3 pillars of initial attraction. 1. Physical attraction and evolutionary psychology. Our brains are wired to notice specific physical traits that signal health, fertility, and genetic compatibility. This isn't shallow, it's evolutionary survival programming. Features like facial symmetry, clear skin, and proportional body structure trigger positive responses because they historically indicated good genes and reproductive fitness. 2. Proximity and familiarity. The mere exposure effect is powerful. We tend to develop attraction to people we see regularly. This is why workplace romances and friendships with neighbors are so common. Your brain interprets familiarity as safety, making you more likely to develop positive feelings toward people in your regular environment. 3. Similarity and complementarity. We're drawn to people who share our values, interests, and backgrounds, but also to those who possess qualities we lack. This creates a psychological balance where we feel both understood and challenged. The key is finding someone similar enough to get you, but different enough to help you grow. The neuroscience behind love at first sight. When you experience strong initial attraction, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals. Dopamine creates feelings of excitement and motivation. Norepinephrine increases alertness and attention. Phenylethylamine produces euphoria and energy. This chemical response can happen within seconds, explaining why some people report, knowing immediately, they'd found someone special. Chapter 2. Building emotional intimacy. True connection goes far deeper than initial attraction. Emotional intimacy develops through specific psychological processes that create lasting bonds between people. The vulnerability ladder. Psychologist Arthur Aaron's research shows that relationships deepen through graduated vulnerability. Partners who progressively share more personal information create stronger emotional bonds. This happens in predictable stages. Surface level sharing interests, preferences, personal experiences and memories, fears, insecurities, and dreams, deep values and core beliefs. Each level of sharing triggers oxytocin release, the bonding hormone, strengthening your emotional connection. Active listening and validation. One of the strongest predictors of relationship satisfaction is feeling truly heard and understood. When your partner practices active listening, giving full attention, asking follow-up questions, and reflecting back what you've shared, it activates the brain's reward centers. Validation doesn't mean agreement. It means acknowledging your partner's feelings as real and understandable. This creates psychological safety, the foundation of all intimate relationships. The psychology of emotional attunement. Successful couples develop emotional attunement, the ability to sense and respond to each other's emotional states. This creates a feedback loop. Partner experiences an emotion. Partner B notices and responds appropriately. Partner A feels seen and understood. Both partners' bond strengthens. This process literally synchronizes your nervous systems, creating the deep sense of connection long-term couples describe. Chapter 3. The Chemistry of Physical Intimacy. Physical intimacy serves psychological functions far beyond pleasure. It's a powerful bonding mechanism that strengthens relationships and builds trust. The neurochemistry of touch. Human touch triggers the release of multiple bonding chemicals. Oxytocin builds trust and emotional connection. Dopamine creates pleasure and motivation to repeat the experience. Endorphins reduce stress and create feelings of well-being. Serotonin stabilizes mood and increases contentment. Regular physical affection. From holding hands to intimate moments, literally rewires your brain to associate your partner with positive feelings. The psychology of giving and receiving. Research shows that focusing on your partner's pleasure activates the brain's reward centers even more strongly than receiving pleasure yourself. This creates a powerful psychological dynamic. When someone prioritizes their partner's satisfaction, it communicates care, attention, and emotional investment. The receiving partner experiences not just physical pleasure, but psychological validation, feeling desired, valued, and emotionally secure. Building sexual confidence. Physical intimacy affects self-esteem and body image. Partners who express genuine enthusiasm and appreciation help each other develop sexual confidence. This confidence extends beyond the bedroom, improving overall self-esteem and life satisfaction. The psychological safety created through caring physical intimacy allows people to be more vulnerable, authentic, and emotionally open, strengthening the entire relationship. Chapter 4. The psychology of trust and security. Trust forms the foundation of all meaningful relationships. Understanding how trust develops, and how it can be damaged, is crucial for building lasting connections. The trust equation. Psychologists identify 3 components of relationship trust. Reliability, consistently following through on commitments. Emotional safety, creating space for vulnerability without judgment. Transparency, being honest about thoughts, feelings, and actions. Each positive interaction builds trust incrementally, while betrayals can damage it dramatically. The good news? Trust can be rebuilt through consistent, caring actions over time. Attachment styles and security. Your early relationships shape how you approach adult connections. The 4 attachment styles create different trust patterns. Secure 60% of people. Comfortable with intimacy and independence. Anxious 20%. Craves closeness but fears abandonment. Avoidant 15%. Values independence over intimacy. Disorganized 5%. Inconsistent approach to relationships. Understanding your attachment style helps you recognize your relationship patterns and work toward more secure connections. Creating emotional safety. Emotional safety allows partners to be completely authentic without fear of judgment or rejection. This requires accepting your partner's feelings without trying to fix them. Responding to vulnerability with compassion, not criticism. Maintaining confidentiality about private sharing. Supporting your partner's growth and individual interests. When both partners feel emotionally safe, they can share their deepest selves, creating profound intimacy. Chapter 5. The power of appreciation and validation. Feeling valued and appreciated isn't just nice, it's a fundamental psychological need that drives relationship satisfaction and longevity. The 5-to-1 ratio. Relationship researcher John Gottman discovered that successful couples maintain a 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions. For every criticism or conflict, happy couples share 5 positive moments, compliments, expressions of gratitude, physical affection, or shared laughter. This ratio creates a positive emotional climate where both partners feel valued and secure, making it easier to navigate inevitable conflicts constructively. The psychology of compliments. Genuine appreciation activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine and creating positive associations with your partner. But not all compliments are equal. Specific appreciation, "I love how thoughtful you were when," is more powerful than generic praise. Character compliments, "You're so compassionate," builds self-esteem more than appearance-based comments. Effort recognition, "I noticed how hard you worked on," shows you pay attention and value their contributions. Validation versus agreement. You don't have to agree with your partner to validate their experience. Validation means acknowledging their feelings as real and understandable given their perspective. This creates emotional safety and shows respect for their inner world. Chapter 6. Communication patterns that build connection. How you communicate shapes your relationship more than what you communicate about. Certain communication patterns consistently strengthen bonds while others create distance. The art of emotional expression. Healthy relationships require both partners to express emotions clearly and appropriately. Research shows that couples who share both positive and negative emotions, in constructive ways, report higher satisfaction than those who avoid difficult conversations. Key principles for emotional expression. Use I statements to avoid blame. Focus on specific behaviors rather than character attacks. Express needs clearly rather than expecting mind reading. Choose appropriate timing for serious conversations. Active listening techniques. True listening involves more than staying quiet while your partner talks. Reflect back what you've heard to ensure understanding. Ask clarifying questions to show genuine interest. Validate emotions even if you disagree with conclusions. Avoid preparing your rebuttal while they're still speaking. Managing conflict constructively. Conflict is inevitable in close relationships. It's how you handle disagreements that matters. Healthy couples. Address issues directly rather than avoiding them. Focus on solving problems rather than winning arguments. Take breaks when emotions become too intense. Apologize genuinely when they've made mistakes. Chapter 7. The Psychology of Long-Term Bonding. What separates couples who stay deeply connected for decades from those who drift apart? The answer lies in understanding how to maintain psychological and emotional intimacy over time, maintaining novelty and growth. The brain craves novelty, which is why the initial excitement of new relationships naturally fades. Successful long-term couples counteract this by trying new experiences together, supporting each other's individual growth, maintaining some independence and mystery, continuing to date and court each other. The psychology of shared meaning. Couples who create shared meaning, common goals, values, and visions for the future, report higher satisfaction and stability. This might include building traditions and rituals together, working toward common goals, creating a shared vision of your ideal relationship, developing inside jokes and private languages, navigating life transitions. Successful couples recognize that relationships must evolve as life circumstances change. Major transitions, career changes, parenthood, aging, require renegotiating roles and expectations. Couples who approach these changes as a team, rather than as individuals, maintain stronger bonds. The neuroscience of long-term love. Brain imaging studies show that couples in long-term loving relationships maintain activity in reward centers associated with early romance, but also develop activity in brain regions associated with calm attachment and deep friendship. This combination of passion and security creates the strongest foundation for lifelong connection. Chapter 8. Building attraction through psychological presence. True attraction goes beyond physical appearance. It's about how you make others feel in your presence. Understanding the psychology of interpersonal attraction can help you become more naturally appealing to others. The power of full attention. In our distracted world, giving someone your complete attention is rare and powerful. When you're fully present with another person, they feel valued and important. You pick up on subtle emotional cues. Conversation flows more naturally. Both people feel more connected. Confidence versus arrogance. Genuine confidence, being comfortable with yourself, is universally attractive. It signals emotional stability and self-worth. This differs from arrogance, which stems from insecurity and pushes people away. Confident people accept compliments graciously, admit mistakes without shame, set boundaries respectfully, support others' success. The psychology of humor and playfulness. Shared laughter releases endorphins and creates positive associations. People who can laugh together build stronger bonds because humor relieves tension and stress, shows intelligence and creativity, creates shared positive experiences, indicates compatibility and shared perspective. Emotional intelligence in relationships. The ability to understand and respond to emotions, both your own and others, is crucial for building attraction and maintaining connections. Emotionally intelligent people recognize their emotional patterns, respond appropriately to others' feelings, navigate conflicts with empathy, create emotional safety for others. The science of lasting connection. Understanding the psychology behind attraction and intimate connection gives you powerful tools for building meaningful relationships. These aren't manipulation tactics, they're insights into how human bonding naturally works. Key takeaways. Attraction involves both conscious and unconscious psychological processes. Emotional intimacy develops through gradual vulnerability and active listening. Physical intimacy serves important psychological bonding functions. Trust and emotional safety form the foundation of all deep relationships. Appreciation and validation are fundamental psychological needs. Communication patterns can either build or erode connection. Long-term relationships require ongoing attention and adaptation. Remember, healthy relationships aren't about finding the perfect person. They're about creating the conditions where two imperfect people can build something beautiful together. The psychology of connection shows us that love isn't just a feeling, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. Whether you're single and preparing for future relationships or currently in a partnership you want to strengthen, understanding these psychological principles can transform how you connect with others. The science is clear. Humans are wired for connection. When we understand how that wiring works, we can create the deep, lasting relationships we all crave.